The PMP exam is a very important exam for professionals who want a career in project management and within certain companies. I got certified as a project manager in 2005. My name's Phil. I've been certified now for 17 years, and I tell you, even with a master's degree, there were certain markets I could not get into without the PMP. The moment I got the PMP certification, the world of opportunities were open to me. Now, in the training, I'll show you ideas of how you can leverage your PMP. But we need to get you certified before you can do that. So let's talk about how to get certified. Let's talk about the origins of this exam and everything else you need to know. 90% of global executives say project management is key to success in their organizations, and they're absolutely right. You can find that at the link down below. This is a business case for the Project Management Institute, the leading global association for project management. Founded in 1969, they put project management on the map pretty much. They were not the first organization of this kind, but they are the most profound and prolific. In 1984, it started off with 40 people certified. Fast forward till when I put this together in 2015, there was 655,000. Today, there are over 1.2 million PMPs. Think about that. Over 1.25. That's 1,250,000. So think about those rather impressive numbers. Very impressive. The numbers are through the roof in 2022. Like I said, they're over 1.2 million now. This exam is based on something known as the PMP exam content outline. But let's talk about what you need to get certified first. To get certified, you need, at a minimum, a high school diploma or an associate's degree or global equivalent. You also, in addition to that, need 5 years of project management experience and 35 hours of training. Except you are an active CAPM holder, then that's waived. The second category is you've got a bachelor's degree or the global equivalent, 3 years of unique non-overlapping project management experience, and 35 hours of formal education. Or you're from a GAC accredited program, college program, and then the requirements are just 2 years of project management experience and the 35 contact hours. So here's a snapshot. There are 180 questions, 230 minutes, only 175 count, because there are 5 pre-test questions, kind of like experimental questions. The score is based on the 175 items. Other than the 5, passing score is currently undisclosed, and the questions are really situational. Now, let me just give you an idea of what kind of questions you could face on this exam. The PMP exam would have questions that could be centered around things like this. What should you do next? What should the project manager do first? What should the project manager have done? Things like that. You can also get drag and drop questions that look like this. You could also get hotspot questions. Not a lot of people have gotten those in the most current exams that I've been hearing about, but they're fair game on the test. And that's what the exam looks like. Now, the exam is broken down into 3 categories, 3 domains. People, all about how people interrelate, human interactions. Processes and tools of project management, be it in Agile or hybrid. And lastly, business, understanding business strategy relating to projects, be they Agile, predictive, or hybrid. On top of that, the exam is also sliced into 2, so the questions could be quite hybridized, and we have 50% Agile and hybrid and 50% predictive. So the exam is very situational, broken into 3 domains and sliced into these big buckets. And that means there's a lot of stuff for you to master. What you need to master can start off with a simple conversation about what Agile is, what we mean by hybrid, and what we mean by predictive. So as part of this course, I'm going to dunk you into my mini course called Smart Project Management. So get your pen and paper ready, and let's dive into Project Management 101 just to get you aligned in the right direction. I call this smart project management because project management should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-framed. Let's begin by defining a project. What is a project? It's a temporary endeavor that delivers an end result, that gives value, benefits, and an overarching outcome. Examples of projects are on the screen: Pyramids of Giza, the Olympic Games, Great Wall of China, Taj Mahal, so many more. Now, projects are not just big and expensive like the ones on the screen. You could also have smaller projects. I like looking at the more simple type projects because people totally get it, right? Driving to work has a start and an end. You could look at it as a project, right? Making dinner, you could look at it as a project. So the word project means many things to different people, but the key thing is beginning and an end. Temporary endeavor to deliver value. So let's make a case for the two approaches that are well known to project management. It's either agile or predictive. These are the two ways. The predictive method is a straight line, pretty much everything is planned. The agile approach is pretty much like a series of experiments until you get to your destination. And that's the general idea. Now, this image on the screen is called the Stacy model. And the Stacy model shows you that if you are in a simple zone where the requirements are well understood and the technical approach is well understood, then you could do projects using a simple approach. But if your project is complex, going towards chaos or anarchy, you cannot use a predictive approach. This one right here won't do. This one is what you have to use because it's going to be a series of experiments to get to your end goal. I also want you to think about cooking a dish for some very difficult individuals that has never been done before. And they're difficult because they've got changing requirements and they've got perceptions. And this is how it would be. Agile again. You do a little bit and check. Are we on course? Give them a taste. Do a little bit more, check. Are we on course? Until you get to the end result. Now, when we say hybrid, it's a combination of both approaches to get to your end goal. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how these two work. In predictive project management, we plan everything up front. So we initiate and then we plan. We plan, and then we plan, and then we plan. Then we execute, and then we monitor and control the project, and then we close. So you're a project manager. You already know what this means. This isn't rocket science. You authorize the project, then you plan, then you do, then you check, then you close the project. It would look something like this. And I won't go into all the details, but I'll freeze the screen for a brief moment so you can check it out. So here are the 5 process groups, right? We have developing the charter as being the main thing that you do in initiating, in addition to identifying stakeholders. In planning, you plan. In executing, you do. You carry out the work. In monitoring and controlling, you create reports and you distribute reports. And in this final report and closure, you close the project. And again, you got a final report that people can look at. So the bottom line is, in predictive project management, we are very, very detailed up front. We plan everything up front and we get into the details up front. Now, this is different from how it works in the world of Agile. In the world of Agile, we start off with an idea, a general vision of what needs to be done, and then we could develop a charter that puts this endeavor on the map, if you will, and then we could begin fleshing out how the product will be developed. We could talk about the releases. We could develop a charter for the team to understand behaviors expected of them and the cadence of the project. We could then develop a backlog and start planning in iterations. Iterations are small time boxes within which we deliver something that is valuable to the client, an incremental value. And then we could have daily stand-up meetings where we collaborate and meet and sync up. We could have backlog refinement to refine the backlog. And then we've got a potentially shippable increment that we demo to the customer. We could have a retrospective where we look in the rearview mirror, try to understand what went well and what didn't. And the question is, all value delivered is asked. And if the answer is no, then you go back to a drawing board to do iteration planning again. But if the answer is yes, then you've got your final. Do you see these cycles of ebbs and flows, a lot of check-in points? And that is one of the hallmarks of Agile, a lot of check-in points. Now, when you come on our program, the Project Management Masterclass program, you will learn a lot more about Agile. First and foremost, just know Agile is a mindset, but the mindset is encapsulated in various frameworks. And what I showed you here is my arrangement of the various pieces that can exist within an Agile framework. It differs when you get into the nitty-gritty of like Scrum or other frameworks like Kanban. But for now, this should give you a high-level idea of how the world works in Agile. Agile is rooted in what we call the Agile Manifesto. And the Agile Manifesto has 4 values and 12 principles. And here are the 12 principles. You can find this at agilemanifesto.org. And here are the 4 values. But the bottom line about Agile is very customer focused, customer centric, and we're looking for the customer to be at an advantage. And that, my friends, is the summary of project management, smart project management. If you have any questions that you would like answered about this exam, I want to encourage you to send an email or a comment. Just go on down to the website, Praizion.com. You can also go on down to this link right here. Go on down to your email and just send an email off to info@praizion.com if you want to know when our next course is, or you've got any questions about what I have spoken to you about today. Now, to round this up, let's jump back in to a few more bits and pieces regarding our PMP exam journey. So, I showed you this, and now you understand Agile, what it is, at least at a high level, and I've shown you predictive. I want to let you know that there are a number of books that are recommended for this test, but we provide you pretty robust material. In addition to making it very pragmatic, very friendly to students, you are never left alone, because every day we have the opportunity for you to sync in with other students and for you to study. We call them the daily scrums. So you got so many opportunities to get good when you come on our program. And our program, you can find it again at Praizion.com. Just go to Praizion.com and look for the program called Project Management Masterclass. That is if you're starting from scratch. If you have already been for training and you're not looking for the full training, you're just looking for something to augment your PMP exam journey, and you're a few days away, I want to encourage you to go on down to Praizion.com and look for the Immersion course. It's called PMP Exam Immersion. You can also find it directly at hpm.com. I hope this gave you a good idea about what the exam is all about. And if you have questions or concerns, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. Thank you, my friend. Speak to you soon, and all the very best.